Happy Mum, Happy Baby is brought to you in association with Fisher-Price. Fisher-Price toys are a great way to mark a child's special milestones, as well as support their everyday play, giving parents a helping hand so they can focus on the most important job in the world, nurturing their child's development. Hello and welcome to another episode of Happy Mum, Happy Baby, the podcast. Today's guest, I'm just fangirling all over her because I love her so much. She's my favourite person to follow online. She's a freelance journalist. She's a blogger. She's Susie Verrill.
Hello.
Did I say your name a bit too quickly then? Susie Verrill.
No, but you pronounced it right.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you get thousands of brownie points.
Do I?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I get Verrill a lot.
They're a bit fancy.
It's much fancier, but it's not. It's not right. So well done.
Thanks. So Susie, you are a mum of two boys.
Yes.
Milo and Rex.
Milo and Rex.
I am feeling life right now. It's fun, isn't it? Being mum to two boys.
It is fun. There's just a lot of energy, isn't there?
Yeah.
And they're quite clingy, aren't they, boys?
Yes.
Are yours clingy?
Yeah. But I love that. I do worry about, that time stopping and then suddenly being, them going off and just grunting at me.
Yeah, Greg's quite worried about that. He'll often say, "What age do they get to when they stop wanting to hug you?"
Oh,
I'm like, it's okay. I don't think we're not there yet. It's okay.
I remember watching something on TV actually about, I think it was some piece that they were doing about the age that boys sort of stop giving those kisses and cuddles, and they were stopping, dads on the way to a football match and saying, do you still like kiss? And the 9-year-old was going, "No, I don't do that anymore." It's like, well, that's not that far away.
It just doesn't feel that old, does it?
No.
But no, I do. I remember being sort of around that age and my mum trying to hold my hand across the road and I'm like batting it off. Get off. Don't need that, mum. So yeah, I guess we all get there. But no, they're lovely, so affectionate, so much fun. And I'm sure you probably get the question as well, but I'm always asked, would you like a girl?
Yeah.
Or do you miss out on not having a girl? And actually, when I was pregnant the second time, everyone told me, "You're having a girl, the pregnancy's so different."
Yeah.
And I was actually really quite nervous.
Really?
Yeah. So when we had the scan, we decided to find out. And when we found out that we were having another boy, I was so happy and I felt completely comfortable because we'd done it before. And,
yeah, it's what
we knew he was going to have a little playmate. And yeah, I love boys. I think they're brilliant.
It's so funny. I think it is that question that everyone asks. And, I'm pregnant now. And that is a question that I'm being asked a lot.
Yeah.
And we had Sarah Turner on the podcast last series.
Yeah.
And she said, she already knew that she was pregnant with the third at the time. And she knew that she was having a boy. And she just put it absolutely perfectly for me that the boys that she has, they're so different.
Yeah.
They're such different personalities. And actually with your third child, it doesn't matter if they're a girl or a boy. You're actually just bringing another personality into the house.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can't miss what you've never had either.
No.
At the moment, I don't know what I'd do with a girl. If I had a girl, I'd love her as much as the boy.
Yeah,
but
of course.
It doesn't mean that I feel as though I'm missing out because
Yeah.
I've got two wonderful kids. They just happen to have willies. So that's it.
Nicely put. So for those of you who don't know, where have you been? I follow Susie online on Instagram. You're just the funniest person ever. I live for your Instagram stories.
Well,
I literally
you.
do. I'm like, what's Susie up to today? Oh.
Not a lot. She's just out in the garden again with the
But
chicken.
that's the thing. You make the mundane or the uneventful just hilarious.
Oh, thank you.
And I don't know if that's something that you consciously do or if you're just... It's a natural thing. It's not something that you sort of put on. It is very much you. But is there a pressure that comes with that? Knowing that so many people kind of go, "Oh, Susie's posted, going to be something funny."
Yeah, there can be, yeah. I guess it's sort of intentional, but if I'm having a day where I know that I'm sort of not firing on all cylinders or I'm a bit sad, so not so long ago my auntie passed away, I try to take a step back away from social media because I think we all have enough of reality and we all have enough of the tough times and the mundane, and I sometimes just think is it worth adding to it? Is it worth going on there and moaning about this or that? Or it's all very well opening up, and I did put a post out just to address that I was feeling sad and I wanted to just keep that to myself, but I guess I'm just much more comfortable with being silly, and I do try to just I think I'm quite a relaxed person, so things can go really wrong, and I'll just kind of think, I'll have a bit of a meltdown. Then 5 minutes later, I'll just whack it on stories. Like last year, my dog, I've got 3 dogs, and they are a handful, along with the children. Greg goes away a lot, obviously. And one ate his way out of a cat flap, but ended up wearing the cat flap like a necklace.
Oh, God.
And I was so cross because obviously he'd chewed his way through our annex door. And I was all alone with the boys. I was, with Milo. I was pregnant, and I just got over the big sickness problem, and then just saw my dog at the window wearing this cat flap necklace, and I cried, went on a walk, and then came home and addressed it on social media, and I guess to everyone else, it's quite, Susie's being silly and this has happened, but I of course had the meltdown first. It's a bit of an outlet, I guess. It's a way for me to channel my emotion, because I think, oh, come on, suck it up and get it out there and get some comments back, because it makes you feel better, doesn't it?
It does. And that's that real sense of community online, especially in that mothering space, I think.
Yeah.
Because you used to blog before you had Milo.
I did. Yeah. That was very much, very, very low key. I don't think many people read that. It was it was when I was working at Nuts, and then I went on to Look, and it was more about sort of dating and feminist issues and things like that. But I had a really small following. I think I had about 5,000 Twitter followers then. So
that's not that small.
It was just but
in comparison,
it
to
wouldn't
what it is
end
now.
up in the Daily Mail. Like sometimes now, when you put something out and you think it's not going to go anywhere, I tend to forget quite often that now things are being picked up, whereas back then I could moan about the guy that I was dating, and no one else would know except for like the people that were following me.
Do you find it quite difficult when things get picked up and put on the Daily Mail? Because I think for me, I find that if I write something and the people that follow me online, they know who I am, they know what I'm about, and then it suddenly gets taken completely out of context and put on someone else's website where they fill it with their own words and their own story, and then all of a sudden, and then you've got below the line all the comments. How do you deal with that?
I think we've got pretty thick skin. Obviously, Greg grew up ginger, so he's fine with being slated. I grew up looking like Eliza Thornberry, so we're fine. But I do find it gets a little bit tedious. You end up in the papers and then it's, they're looking for attention, they're looking for this, and actually you're not. You're just being like everybody else and putting things out on social media. You've just got a following, and you've got people within media who then pick it up. I once put a post out when I was pregnant with Rex, and it was just a bump picture, but I wasn't wearing any clothes. You couldn't see anything, obviously, but that then ended up in the Daily Mail, and then they'd stolen something else where I'd mentioned that we're not married, and there were lots of comments about that, and so I addressed those again on Instagram,
which you do hilariously. You literally sit there and you read them out.
Yeah, because you have to joke about it.
Yeah.
I think otherwise it just gets you down. And then the next issue, the next day on Daily Mail was a story then about how I haven't married Greg because I don't want our sex life to go down, and it was such a throwaway comment, but my mum was like, Susie, Auntie Judy rang, and it says in the papers that you're not getting married because you're worried your sex life's going to be really rubbish. I just want to tell you that doesn't happen. It's just cut.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fine. It doesn't upset us. We're not sat at home worrying about it.
Yeah.
And also, people flag it up. I get people messaging me to say, "Did you know you're in the Daily Mail?"
Oh, I've had it this week.
Yeah.
So we've announced that I'm pregnant, and I've literally had a couple of people on Twitter just send me the comment section. I'm like,
I know.
I'm not even reading the article. I don't care.
No.
I do not care.
No, the only time that we read the comments is when we know they're going to be hilarious. But if we know that it's just going to be like it was with our pregnancy announcement, well, she's not the first person to get pregnant.
Yeah.
Of course I'm not.
Yeah.
I didn't ring the Daily Mail and ask them to put it out.
Yeah.
I'm just letting people know. So yeah, I think other people sort of tap into it more and maybe presume that you're going to be sat at home worrying about it, but you're not, are you?
Mm.
So.
Not all the time.
Not all the time.
I mean, for me, sometimes it gets to me.
Does it?
Sometimes. I just don't read it now. I don't read.
No. Best thing to do is avoid. I guess it's dependent on what it is.
Yeah.
If they were to say something about the boys, that would really upset me.
Well, you had it when Greg was doing Strictly.
Yeah.
And Milo was on the show.
Yeah.
And you had that whole thing flag up about wearing girls' clothes, which was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. That got to me quite a bit, because then you start thinking, oh gosh, am I doing something wrong? And in a few years' time, would he think, why did you put my hair in a ponytail? And then you remember that half of, London, all the men are wandering around with man buns.
Yeah.
And it was just he was getting sweaty, so I just put his hair up. But yeah, there was the whole thing about he's wearing a red top. How dare he?
Red. I mean, it's such a girl colour.
Yeah. And I got called like the whole Kardashian trash, and just that I was going to. Then there's a whole gender debate, and then you have to tread really carefully, because again, you have to be respectful of the fact that there are children out there who aren't comfortable with their gender, and then you're thrown into the sort of lion's den. They wanted me to go on Good Morning Britain to talk about it, and you're just going to get tripped up by the likes of Piers Morgan. Is there gender fluidity within your family? No, there isn't. Milo knows he's a boy, but then am I upsetting people that are living their lives that way? And it's really tough, because then you're sort of arguing when you didn't even create the argument, and I just tried to get Milo into some clean clothes, and he had to go on the telly. That was it. I think I just grabbed something out the drawer and we went with it. It's as simple as that. It wasn't intentional to upset half of England with my outfit choices.
I mean, if you could think more wisely next time.
I will.
Susie, I mean.
I haven't got enough to think about. Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's slightly peach. What is this colour? And what kind of mum did you think you were going to be before you became a mum?
We're completely different parents to what I expected.
Really?
And I'm like a 4-stage clinger with the boys. If I have to go away, I really do worry about where they're going to be, who they're going to be with. And if I can have them with me, then I try my very hardest to. Yeah. And we co-sleep. I mean, I was all fully... well, yeah, fine. Co-sleep if you want your children to die. I was quite judgmental. And now.
But then now you do amazing posts where you kind of say, well, this is how we sleep and this is how it works for us.
Yeah, because I think if it's the only way for you to get sleep, and it really was with Milo, we tried everything and we were so tired. We just weren't functioning. Greg was needing to train. I was probably going to just spiral into some sort of depression. Yeah. Because we weren't getting any hours in, and he would just sleep. He just wanted comfort. Yeah. And so we tried it, and we didn't get any advice from people that we asked. It was just very much, well, no, you shouldn't be doing it. Yeah. Use alternative methods. And so I think if there's advice out there where you can do it safely, then that's a much better option than having to hide it and possibly not doing it safely and then something happening. Yeah. So I do try to champion it, because I think the amount of messages I get from women to say, oh, we do it too. And I think, gosh, it's just having your baby in bed. It's okay.
Well, when they can talk, like I've had friends who sort of say, they put their child to bed and the child's like, oh, can you stay with me or can you sleep with me tonight? And they're like, no, you've got to sleep on your own. And the child's like, but why? Because you sleep with dad.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, actually. Yeah, so why do we do that? Why do we punish them and say, no, you must sleep on your own, this is what's right, when actually, if all they want is comfort, then that's really lovely.
Yeah, and I'm always up for more hugs. And there's room in our bed.
Exactly. I mean, me and Tom are so far apart. We used to sleep with at least, we used to start facing each other, and that was nice. And we'd turn over so our bums were touching.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're
still there. We're still there.
No.
Whereas now we are literally, like, we could have 2 whole people between us. And we
have a thing called mega bed at the moment. Because we're renovating our house. We're all in one room. So we have a king size and a super king next to one another.
No.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
And what order do you sleep in?
It changes throughout the night.
Nice.
Milo is quite the wanderer. You see Greg sighing as he gets just sort of shunts over the bed. I reckon once they're a little bit older, they'll probably like to share a room or something, and then they won't want me and Greg. We'll be old news. I'll have to get pregnant again. We'll just get a cat to come and sleep in the bed with us. Anything.
anything, so it's not just you two and you're touching butts.
Don't take me back to the old days.
How long were you and Greg together before you fell pregnant with Milo?
No, not long.
Oh, really?
Not long. 11 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So sort of long enough.
Out of the honeymoon period?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny. With Greg, I kind of felt, and it's a really naff thing to say, but I felt really just like at home with him very, very quickly. I'd been single for about 4 years, dating. I was living the real sort of London life and young and in media and dating guys that were completely inappropriate and moaning about them.
All the good times.
All the good stuff and crying in my bedroom on my birthday because I got dumped on my birthday. Won't go there. But so when I met Greg, I sort of had an idea of what I thought he was like. And actually it was very, very different, and it was so refreshing. Yeah, it was really nice. He made me feel comfortable with myself, which was really important. And we just kind of, I think I'd moved in after about 6 months. We went travelling 3 months in. I just didn't turn up at work one day, and he just flew me to America. Yeah, I just didn't want to go, and it was raining.
Yeah.
You know how it is, G.
Oh, I have those days, yeah. I don't fancy going to America today. Should we fly to America instead? Oh, that's a great idea.
I rang my mum and I said, "Is this a really bad idea? I might lose my job." And she went, "Oh, no, you should go, but don't marry him." Like I was going to go off to Vegas because I'd really like to be there.
But that's the thing, I think, when you're young and you've got no responsibilities in the same way that we do now, it's amazing to just go off and do those things. But we can't do that now, Susie.
I know we can't. And you have to pay a really expensive fare for a very small child to sit on a chair.
Yes, I've now got two of them.
Oh no, of course.
Yeah, they're both now over 2.
Oh, see, this is our big argument on having another one, Chris. I don't know if we can afford the airfare, Sis. One's going to have to go with the baggage.
There should be that option. I'm just putting it out there.
There should. So no, it's sometimes do wonder whether or not we should have had a little bit longer together, just me and him.
So how did your relationship change when you actually had Milo? Because I think it's one thing thinking, oh, we're going to have children and it's going to be amazing. And then actually when that bundle arrives, you're hit with a real big sense of reality.
Yeah. So in that 11 months, Greg and I had one argument.
Okay.
We weren't big arguers at all, both really relaxed. And then when Milo turned up, there was lots of like, and then I'm really sorry about that. I'm very tired. Don't really hate you. It's just
I take it back.
Yeah, I'm very sorry about that. Let's hug it out. Move on. So there's definitely more sort of tiffs and niggly bits and bobs. But it's nice. It's nice to see another side to Greg, and I'm hopeful that he likes to see another side to me. It's not just Sue's my other half. It's like now the mother of my child. But no, I guess.
Did it feel like it changed you?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've become probably more understanding of other people. I think I was quite quick to make judgments about other people before, possibly, and I'm just more patient. I remember. I mean, London, if you live there, it can change you a little bit anyway. But I used to do a commute from London to Dover at one point every day. And sometimes, there would be families on the escalators. They wouldn't be standing on the right side. And I'd go up and be like, "Get on your side." And now I think, gosh, you were so rude. Like I know you were tired and you were doing a commute. But these poor people with their babies and their buggies and probably not being able to find a lift.
Yeah.
And, you've got this girl just walking up going, "Get on your side." Now I think, oh my gosh, I was just an awful human. So it makes you more understanding. And, I'd sort of seek out other mothers and like the private members club. I'm like, "Do you want help with your pram? Or are you tired too? Because I am." And just like, it does change you, I think.
Well, it's a real conversation starter, isn't it? I feel like you can go and talk to anyone who's a parent because you're going to have something in common.
Yeah. Do you find if you're out without the boys as well, if you see another mum, you want to go over and go, "I've got 2 of them"?
Yes. Yeah. I know what
I'm
you're going
just here, but I've got 2 of them.
through. Yeah.
I know what's
true.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what happened today.
Oh, really?
I just went up to some random woman from Toronto. Incidentally, she was here on her holidays, and I was like, oh, hello. What carrier have you got? I've got one of those that fits in a carrier. She just was like, okay.
It just becomes part of you, doesn't it? It's just this thing. You can't suddenly switch it off.
No.
Once you're a mum, that is such a massive part of your identity.
Yeah, and I think you know as well that sometimes that mum just needs someone to come over and be like, you're looking a bit tired, but you're all right, you're doing good. So I'd appreciate someone coming up to me, definitely.
Well, and I think, especially early days for me, I felt so judged whenever we were going out. So whenever Buzz would cry, I'd be like, oh, people are looking. And even if they weren't, I'd get mum sweats. I'd be so uncomfortable. But so now, if I see someone with a baby crying, I always make sure I try and make them feel comfortable, or make them know that this is normal, that everyone's on your side.
Yeah.
You know, I had someone come up to me and sort of say, you're fine, you know, and just having that, I think it's so important.
Yeah, that's what you need. I do find it slightly irritating when people come up and say, oh, someone's hungry.
I've just fed him.
I just fed him and my nipple's still leaking over here. I used to find that quite when I was younger, but it's just having people come over of all ages and just be like, oh, you know, we've been there, don't worry about it, stop crying in a minute, and it's okay. It's funny, isn't it? Like, it really happened with Milo, but with Rex it's a bit like
you bat it
like
away.
white noise.
Yeah, it's so funny, isn't it, how you can literally block out the sound of your own child crying.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
And he's doing that thing at the moment where he can't crawl and he's just sort of on the floor like this. And then sometimes be like, oh gosh, because he'll be like half under a table, just really wailing, but I haven't noticed because I've been brushing Milo's teeth or something. The neglected one.
Oh. And do you travel a lot with them?
Yes. Yeah, we travel around a lot.
And how have you found that? Were you nervous the first time you took Milo on a flight?
Yeah, because I don't like flying.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a big fan of flying. I really, really catastrophise in my head. You know, any sound, I'll look at Greg and he'll be like, it's all right, it's okay. No plane has gone down because of turbulence. But yeah, we travel a lot. Greg and I didn't travel a lot when we were younger. We both came from like very, very working class backgrounds. Yeah. So it's important for us to take the boys and make sure they see different cultures, and it's fun, and we do have a good time. We're slightly more feral when we travel. It's like no shoes and lots of ice cream for dinner. But Greg travels a lot, and lots of living out of hotel rooms. So we just do it, and it's fun. And while they're not in school, it's something which they can do.
Do you feel judged when you're out and about in public if they have meltdowns, or are you just like, whatever, it's a part of growing up?
Did
you feel it more with Milo?
Yes. And it depends where we are. Because in Milton Keynes, Greg's quite a familiar face.
Greg is quite a familiar face. Greg Rutherford, for anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah.
It's the ginger that you've already brought up.
It is. I think the ginger hair gives it... If he wears a hat, actually, sometimes
Tom and his glasses. Like... If he's not wearing his glasses, it's fine. Take the glasses off.
It's not Tom. Fine. Yes. So when we're in Milton Keynes, I find it quite a lot because then I'm normally wrestling with the kids while someone's talking to Greg, and then it sort of impacts on their moment together, and then other people look over and it all becomes a bit much. But I certainly find it easier the second time around. The first time around, I was like you, I would get the sweats and I would get the anxiety, and I couldn't get my boob out of my nursing bra, and everything hurt, and why is this baby still crying? And Milo suffered really badly with like colic and reflux.
Yeah.
And to his credit, Greg is brilliant when we're out the house. He sort of takes over. He's very calm, does the playing, sort of let mummy have her time, and he's a real sort of lighthouse in the storm. It's like, just all go to daddy can help us. Yeah, I went to John Lewis yesterday, and I was feeding Rex in one of their lovely special rooms, and Milo was sort of jumping all over the chairs pretending to be Andy from Prehistoric Adventures.
Nice.
And it all got a bit hot, and other people coming in, and and they don't listen, do they? So I was like, Milo, Milo, Milo.
That nice reasoning voice when you're out in public. Yeah. Oh, Milo, we don't do that, do we?
No, that's not how we communicate, Milo. So it all got a bit much. I was like, right, let's go find your daddy, and go down the escalators, and Milo nearly fell down them, all of that, and then we sort of just see Greg in the distance looking at the jeans. Let's just all run and find him. Why have you been so long? Yeah, he's it's tricky.
Yeah,
feeling like other people are just watching you. But I think sometimes it's just because noise is happening, so people look over. It's like I get this sometimes with the breastfeeding debate.
Yes,
I think actually sometimes people just look. Yeah, because you're feeding a baby.
Yeah,
or you've got your boob out,
or just like, oh, what's happening? Oh, she's feeding.
She's feeding,
and she won't look. Yeah,
yeah. And I actually think a lot of it is in our heads sometimes.
Did you feel self-conscious breastfeeding in public first time round? I say first time round because I always think it's very different second time round.
Yeah. Second time round, it's like a bit of old leather, isn't it?
But also coming from like Nuts magazine, where boobs are this, very different thing.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're using them for their actual, one of their other, uses.
Yeah. I probably struggled, for the first few months. I think I felt quite conscious of what I was doing.
Yeah.
You're getting a part out which you wouldn't in public.
Yeah.
And the fumbling, and you've got a muslin, or you've got your special clothes on, and the baby won't latch, and he's getting really hot under here, and there was lots of sort of trying to find areas where other people wouldn't look at me. And now I suppose it just comes with practice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Second time around, just sort of use any old thing, like I'll just shove my scarf there, a napkin. Yeah. Just standing to my hand sometimes. Yeah. My poor stepdad, I'm like, my mum's just there now. She's like, that's really good. You're feeling comfortable.
It is, it's just a funny one, isn't it? I think, first time round, it was such a faff, and I felt like the world was watching. Second time round, I didn't have any time to think about who was watching.
No, that's a good point.
You're worried about the first one. They're usually doing something or saying something, or you're trying to get them to eat something.
Yeah. All the positions as well.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah.
And see, Rex isn't a very good latcher. Milo was a bit like a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think had it been the other way round, that would have been tricky.
Yeah.
Milo sort of just found his way very quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas I had a cesarean with Rex. So my milk didn't come in as quickly.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, well, if I have to bottle feed, I have to bottle feed. There just wasn't that pressure. Just whatever happens. And then he's still a bit fussy now. He's not great, so maybe he won't feed for as long. Yeah. Obviously, Milo was still going as I fell pregnant. So we'll see. But no, second time around, it's completely different.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just think do you feel like you're more calmer as a mum, more settled?
Yes, I love second time motherhood so much more than first time.
Really?
Yeah. That I felt like I'd sort of been in like a car crash the first time around.
Yeah, how did you feel in that first little bit?
Really awful. And I don't think I realised it at the time, but I really did. It's almost like a different person when I look back and think, I feel sorry for myself. It's like a different person. I feel sorry for that woman that was on her own. My mum wasn't around, and Greg went back to training quite quickly, had an episiotomy, so there was sort of like issues with stitches, and it's uncomfortable, isn't it?
It's not the best.
It's not the best. No. It's because it's there. Right, you have to sit,
and walk, and
and you're just so tired, and you are learning everything with your baby. Second time around, you can think, well, hang on, what did I do that time? No, that didn't work. It might not work with the second baby, but you've got sort of catalogue of ideas to give them a whirl, and you're already tired, aren't you? Yeah. So you're just throwing another one in the mix. And actually you put a comment underneath the photo to say, I almost found it calmer when with the second time motherhood at the beginning, and it was so true that when Rex came along for the first 3 months, it was calmer.
I wonder whether that's because we were both prepared for the hell.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that first 3 weeks is so hard when you're a first-time mum.
Yeah.
And for us it was. And I know it's not that way for everyone. Some people are up making jam and it's amazing. So when you're kind of you know what you're facing second time round, you're like, okay, I've got this. You know what you're bracing yourself for. And actually, when that doesn't, I think you're just more prepared.
Yeah, you're so grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really did. The second time around, I thought I'm going to really make sure that I can set everything up so that my mental health is tip top. You know, I did the placenta capsules.
Yes,
I made sure, like, I was quite nesty, so I made sure that everything was looking neat and tidy. I made sure that Milo had started nursery, and I made sure that no one was coming. I didn't want any visitors. You know, I'm going to have some time away and just in our little bubble.
Well, because people feel the pressure of, you know, having those people over because everyone wants to see a newborn, you know.
Of course.
And
I think first time, sometimes it's the first grandchild, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, both sets of parents were at the hospital. I literally just out, and I was just about to start breastfeeding. Then I just heard these voices in the corridor. I was like, "Dad, come in. I'm still out, but come in."
Oh no, Greg's parents turned up about an hour after I gave birth first time. His mum worked on the ward,
right?
Because we thought, go NHS first time. You know, Greg's mum's working there. It's all good. Let's champion the NHS. Go there. And they let her know that I was in labour, which I was really cross about.
Right.
And she did turn up with a KFC, so that's fine.
Bonus, yeah.
But you know, yeah, I was still sort of vagina out. Hi, Greg's dad.
Yes, I'm being stitched down there. I'm glad you know it.
So yeah, it's second time around. We knew what worked, what we wanted, and what we didn't. There was no comment. I'm a crier on a day 12.
Interesting.
Not day 3.
Yeah.
Day 12. I think that's when reality sets in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And day 12, first time around, Greg, we had loads of friends over and Greg cooked a roast. And he came in and he said, so I've got you a chair. It is like one of the kitchen chairs. Do you want me to put a cushion on it? And I was like, Greg, I can't sit. My vagina is broken. I don't want a roast. What are you doing? And he was like, I'm just trying to be a host, Suze. Like, all of our friends are here. And I was like, why are they still here? It's been hours. You've seen the baby go. And I just went upstairs
did any
and
of those
cried.
friends have kids?
No.
See, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think when you've had a child, you kind of get it. Get in, get out.
Yeah.
Take food so that no one's got a faff.
Yep.
And then just leave.
Yeah, or leave it on the doorstep.
Yeah.
Anything. Yeah.
So hard, isn't it? Because I think people just feel like they're being supportive and they want to see the baby. And it's so lovely in friendship groups where it's the first baby.
They mean so well.
Yeah.
And they just want to come round and, we'll take him from you. But also, first time mum, you're a bit like, I don't want you to take him from me.
Oh, I've had friends where people have gone to visit a baby and they have not actually held that baby the whole visit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, they need to get in the sea. That's not good, is it?
Get in the sea.
Yeah.
What's get in the sea?
That's the term that they say on the internet.
Is this the kids? They're down with the kids.
Very trendy.
Get in the sea. I've got no idea what it means. I'm going to look it up. Otherwise I might get myself into trouble.
No, you should. It's hard, isn't it? People always mean well.
Yeah, and
they
I think
really
you
do.
can't, when you're in that first little bit, there are so many things going through your head and routines. And I don't know about you, I read certain books that were all about routine.
Yep.
And then they became along. He hadn't read them. So inconsiderate of Buzz. He hadn't read any of the books.
Bad.
I mean, you know, and he didn't know what was going on. So he didn't do his homework. So neither of us could actually follow that through.
Oh, the nice little 4-hour feeds.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. And he's only meant to feed after every 4 hours. He's meant to have a sleep. But I remember Greg just sort of wafting Milo's mouth near my boob and going, Suze, and I was like, they hurt so much. Take him away. And I was just adamant, he's meant to wait. What's going on with this baby?
Literally, that's the thing, isn't it? Those early days, you're literally counting down.
You are.
Counting down. No, another 2 hours and 26 minutes until
Yeah.
he's allowed near my boob again.
It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas second time, you're just like, probably seems hungry. We'll give it a go.
Funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
maybe that's also our mental attitude towards breastfeeding has kind of changed in that. So rather than having that's because when thinking about like feed on demand first time out, I was like, no, there'll be structure. There'll be, I'll know what I'm doing when. Whereas, second time round, it's so much easier to just kind of go,
Yeah,
let's see if
whatever.
that's it. Let's see if that's it.
It's like at night time. Sometimes a lot of the time Rex just latches on and I don't even know. And then I'll think, oh, he's on there. I'll just drift back off again.
Do you think that's a realisation that you come to, though, through social media? Because I think where we are in social media, that's a massive part where we're just really supportive and it doesn't matter. Like there is no judgment. It's everyone together. We're all winging it.
Yeah.
Do you feel that being online has kind of made you feel more comfortable in the decisions that you're making?
Probably, yes. Yeah, I would say so. I think motherhood on Instagram obviously gets a lot of flack. But it's such a wonderful community. And it's almost like everybody knows everyone else. I don't know. You sort of feel like you can go, oh, I follow so-and-so. And it might
when we first met properly, I think I hugged you about 4 times in the space of 30 seconds. Yeah. I actually messaged you afterwards, like, I'm so sorry. Just so over familiar.
No, but it's true, isn't it? I've got a launch tomorrow evening and I'm messaging like loads of women go like, oh, I can't wait to see you. I've never met them, but it feels like I'm just seeing them again.
Yeah.
And the community is so supportive, and I think it does. There'll always be someone out there that's doing the same as you. Yeah. For every person that's saying like, well, you shouldn't be doing that, or I don't mean to be rude, but
if you start a sentence like that, it's never a good place.
It's an indicator, isn't it? I think you're going to have like 10 other people that are on your team, and most people mean well.
Yeah.
So I really like it.
Yeah.
I really like it. I know that there's sometimes people that find social media quite a negative space and it can be a bit of an impactor on their mood. But for me, it definitely brings me up.
Yeah, but also I think a part of that is you get to decide who you follow.
Absolutely.
So if someone's making you feel bad, press that unfollow button. It's that simple.
Agree.
Make sure that you see people on your timeline that make you feel good.
I couldn't agree more. There was a whole thing about Kylie Jenner the other day and I did some stories on it.
Right.
Because she sort of showed her tummy and, she snapped back and then the media picked it up. And I just feel sorry for her a little bit. What do people want her to do? Do they want her to be coming on social media going, oh, I'm just so tired and it's really hard and, oh, look at me, I'm a mess, or going out and getting papped and then getting torn to shreds for not getting back to her previous weight. She lives, so many people were saying, well, it's just not realistic. Of course it's not realistic. I don't watch the Kardashians because it's realism. I watch it because it's mental.
But it's also that thing of realising that every different person, we're all different. She's very young. She probably will snap back.
Yeah.
But then also, that's a phrase I
it's
hate.
Awful.
But she's a very different figure to everyone else. And her job is very different to everyone else's. They have a very different life. All of us are just very different in our makeup.
Yeah. And I don't like the whole, well, she's not a real mum thing, or the fact that, I'm of a certain shape that a couple of weeks down the line I was back in my jeans. Now, that's just fortunate. That's thanks to my mum.
Yeah.
There's other people in my family that aren't of my figure. But then I was awful at giving birth and my body didn't mend itself like everybody else's. There's all different things that are going on, and I don't like the whole they're not a real mum if they haven't got saggy boobs.
Yeah,
or
what does that mean? But that's just a phrase that people kind of say to make themselves feel better.
Yeah.
But you're actually in that judgment. You're not doing yourself a service actually.
No, it's a real shame. We're all just having kids and we're all just loving them, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. There's not a certain way to do it. There's not a certain way that you can look. And also I don't think people look deeply enough into things. I was putting makeup on because it was making me feel better.
Yeah.
It's not because I wasn't looking after my baby.
No, when I first started following you, I remember I started watching your Insta stories, I think, and you had lashes on, your hair was really long and brown, you were in heels, and I was like, oh my God, I've got no idea how she does it.
Yeah. But it would have been the next day. I wouldn't.
I
wouldn't have had lashes on.
Yeah.
So I do hope that stories sort of allow you to be able to just show your day to day, and sometimes it is mundane and normal.
Yeah.
But everyone's normal's different.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I just love it. Were you scared when you first started sort of sharing things of Milo? Were you worried about having that out there? Especially when I guess for you must suddenly realise that more people are reading it and...
Yeah, it's not since, I wouldn't say when Milo was younger it was so much of a problem. I'd say now.
Really?
Because I have some people come up and say, oh, I recognise Milo before I recognise you. And that doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
And there are points where I don't put up as much stuff of him, or I'll think that's a really lovely picture. I'm just going to hold it back because it's just of him.
Yeah.
And probably as he grows up, we'll just pull him back and out of it a bit more. Just because I don't like people sort of telling me that they recognise my son. Yeah. And that's not their fault. That's a really nice thing to say. But it's not his decision, I guess, to be on social media. And
it's hard, isn't it?
It's difficult to know whether you're sort of have a negative impact or not. But I think as my following's growing, that's my ongoing concern, I would say.
I mean, I've got to the end of holidays before and realised that, so say I know that I'm filming a vlog at the end of it, or editing a vlog together, that I've got so much footage of the back of the boys' heads.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is great for the vlog. But when they're 30 and we're looking back at old photos, oh, there's the back of your head in front of the castle. How lovely. There's the back of your head made in Mickey. Amazing.
It's true. It's so hard, isn't it? You can only give so much away.
Yeah. And that's the thing, isn't it? It's realising that actually you don't have to share everything.
Yeah.
And that's fine. There's no problem with not sharing everything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like embarrassing moments as well. You know, like potty training and things. I try to sort of limit that kind of chat.
Yeah.
Because people don't need to know about it.
Well, it's very different, isn't it? If it's stuff about you. I think when it's stuff about the boys, and it does feel slightly different.
It does, yeah. Will they want to read it in a few years' time? Probably not. They won't want to read any of it, I should imagine. They'll be flying around on their hoverboards.
Yes.
Adamant this is going to happen.
Okay, Susie, we're at the end. We're at the end, but don't worry. There's a little bit left for you to do.
Oh, okay.
At the end of every podcast, I ask my guest to finish 3 sentences for me. It's not rocket science, it's fine.
Okay.
Don't worry. So being a mum means?
Being a mum means you get a little bit of magic in each day. Is that really naff?
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
thank you. Since having children, I
have a lot less showers and sex. Sorry.
No, that's staying in. Thanks. The reality. And I'm happy when you have more showers and sex.
Yes. I'm happy when it's the evening, we're all cuddled up on the sofa, and the boys just seem happy. Just about being content.
Yeah, I love that.
Simple pleasures.
Yeah. When you're quiet together.
Yeah. Yes.
Just that peace. When no one's jumping or climbing.
Shouting. Or singing Paw Patrol. Yeah.
Lovely. Well, Susie, thank you for coming on to the podcast. It's been a joy.
Thanks for having me.
I promise I won't hug you more than 4 times.
Oh, no. Hug me all over.
Oh, I will. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, dear. Thank you. Fisher-Price recognises that every child is born with unique gifts and a distinct personality. Our role as parents is to embrace and celebrate who they truly are. This podcast was brought to you by Fisher-Price.